In the ever-compressed social media universe which we find ourselves, it can often seem that everyone around us is far more secure and confident in their abilities than we are. Like the protagonist of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, some people seem to float through life without a fear in the world, untouchable, and easily evading traps set by the Ed Rooneys of the world hell-bent on taking them down. This feeling can be particularly appreciated by artists, ceaselessly presented with the accomplishments of friends and peers who are often showered with the level of adoration reserved for deities. But even in those moments when we mere mortals find ourselves in a groove, on top of the world, and seemingly unstoppable, there can be a nagging sense from deep within that we are faking it. We've simply constructed a facade to cover our true selves, and are inches away from being exposed as hollow and inferior. Psychologists have dubbed this perpetual sense of self-doubt in people's own abilities impostor syndrome. No matter what we do or how often those around us praise our talents or compliment our abilities, many, if not most of us, frequently see ourselves as unworthy the accolades of our peers. Or worse still, we see ourselves as complete and utter frauds. But is self-doubt truly the weakness that many see it to be? Or could it in fact be the very source of our strength, driving us today to build the muscle of competency that transforms us into our better selves tomorrow? Walking through the Hirshhorn in Washington, D.C., one will encounter an installation of the works of artist Barbara Kruger, painted on the walls of one of the museum's lower levels. Prominently featured is the central thematic statement of the installation: belief plus doubt equals sanity. This simple and effective declaration serves to strip bare the mythical strength that is blind confidence in one's own abilities, while elevating self-examination as the cornerstone upon which our personal realities are built. Belief is defined as a state of habit of mind in which trust or confidence is placed in some person or thing. There are times in life where we routinely view ourselves as invincible in our pursuits, most notably in our youth. Before the cynicism of adulthood slows our compulsive nature, we hold on to a belief that the future is endless and our potential limitless. As lyricist Neil Peart observed in the lyrics to the song Dreamline, we are young, wandering the face of the earth, wondering what our dreams might be worth, learning that we're only immortal for a limited time. It is our childlike sense of a world without end that invites us to take risks which, as adults, we perceive as pure insanity. The fearlessness in which we break barriers instills within us a sense of optimism for greatness, while, on the other hand, the bones we break in the process provide much-needed perspective to define the absolute safe limits for pushing ourselves later in life. Doubt, on the other hand, is defined as to call into question the truth of, or to be uncertain or in doubt about. When it comes to inner faith, trusting one's own abilities is as precarious a position as a person can find oneself. There's nobody on the face of the earth who knows more about both our publicly seen and our secretive past and present as we do of ourselves. Sometimes the pain of those broken bones of the past seems more real than the realm of possibilities we can imagine over the horizon. In such a state, not unlike Catholics kneeling in a confessional, we find ourselves in a constant state of bearing witness to our own faults and flaws. While this can certainly serve to humble ourselves, at extremes it can also immobilize us to the point of being incapable of taking any action that could serve to elevate us beyond our momentary position in the universe. But belief without doubt is the same difference between someone overwhelmingly excited to jump out of an airplane and someone aware enough to take a few seconds to ensure that they are wearing a parachute. The statement, "fake it till you make it," alludes to the hidden reality that confidence is not always as it seems. Many of those artists we idolize who display an image of unflinching self-assurance to the outside world are simply playing a character long enough to turn others' perception of their invented role into reality. But beneath that veneer of utter strength lies the same doubts and fears that we all hold. Though an infant doing somersaults across the stage would certainly be hilarious, there's no human in the world who, as soon as their umbilical cord was cut, takes to the world stage with utter confidence and complete competency. Each of us falls on our face hundreds of times before we learn the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other. And even when we are competent enough to run at high speeds, we all still stumble and fall at times, just as we did in our infancy. Because of the ever-changing nature of creative expression, artists often have few reference points to compare themselves against that do not fade as quickly as they appear. The moment we find a beacon of inspiration amongst our peers bright enough to measure our own abilities and accomplishments against, something novel always comes along to shake things up and bring us all back down to earth. And there are no exceptions to this rule. Even artists considered certified legends in their craft often recognize a brilliance in others which humbles themselves. British actor Sir Anthony Hopkins, or Tony to those who know him personally, is unquestionably an actor with few peers. In 1992, Hopkins won the Academy Award for Best Actor in the film The Silence of the Lambs, even though appearing a record low total of only 16 minutes of the film's 2-hour runtime. But as acclaimed an actor as he is, Hopkins was not without humility enough to send actor Bryan Cranston a fan letter in recognition of his work in the series Breaking Bad. In that letter, Hopkins stated, "Your performance as Walter White was the best acting I have seen ever." That kind of work, artistry, is rare. And when, once in a while, it occurs, as in this epic work, it restores confidence. You and all the cast are the best actors I've ever seen. The sheer humility displayed in Hopkins' act of gratitude speaks to the strength that comes from recognizing how one's own talents are not diminished by the strength of those who surround us. On the contrary, the brilliance of those we align ourselves with is what elevates us all as creators. But such a perspective does not come without a sense of one's own imperfections. Musicians often find that when supporting artists of exceptional talent and skill, they are able to perform at levels far beyond what they consciously thought themselves capable of at the time. These musicians find themselves instinctually rising to a far higher caliber simply because they recognize that, should they not measure up, they will be the weight that sinks the ship. But how is it that artists are able to rise and match the level of masters they have the opportunity to perform with? Is it possible our self-doubt builds a subconscious muscle strong enough to lift us in our time of need such that we measure up to our own idols? And if so, is it possible we don't even need these inspirers by our side to drive our creative execution to a state of brilliance and find our own true potential as artists? Belief plus doubt equals sanity. To be sane, at least from the dictionary definition, is to be mentally sound or able to anticipate and appraise the effect of one's own actions. When we are optimistic enough to see the horizon ahead as limitless, but also adequately self-aware to recognize how our current strengths will only carry us so far, we are offered the opportunity to marry the potential of our future with the actual of our present, in which we become more than what we or others saw within ourselves of the past. It is in those moments between belief and uncertainty that we push the envelope of what we not only perceive as possible, but become more than even those idols who we strive to be like could hope to achieve. It is doubtful Bryan Cranston ever consciously thought of himself as an equal to Anthony Hopkins until the moment he received that letter. But do any of us really need a fan letter from our idols before we recognize our own potential? Think of your own abilities 5, 10, or 15 years ago. If at any of those moments, someone were to outline your biography between that time and today, do you think it possible you might scoff at their assertions of your achievements? And is it possible that the person you'll become 5, 10, or 15 years from now will have experiences that would seem unfathomable to you today? Our experiences are propelled by the beliefs we hold of possibility. But our beliefs are an extension of the strength we find within ourselves during our moments of inner struggle and self-doubt. Trees grow into the towering, solid masses that they are not because of the moments of sunny calm. It is out of defying the winds that push them during torrential downpours. And our capabilities as artists are born not on those occasions where we phone in a performance or create as if on autopilot. They grow when we push through those moments of self-doubt and the times when we consider surrendering altogether. Doubt is not a weakness. Doubt is the storm that keeps our eyes and our hearts open and our minds conscious of the world around us. It is what provides weight enough to root us on solid ground, gain a foothold to withstand the whirlwinds of struggle, and push onwards towards the goals we strive for in our artistic lives. It is the shadow which hands us the gift of perspective against which we're able to appreciate and revel in the moments of our own shining brilliance, look in the mirror and say to ourselves, yeah, that was me. And it is the act of choosing to march headfirst against those winds of self-doubt, in which our beliefs of all that is possible in this universe bloom into a reality that our past selves could only dream of experiencing, but that our future selves will look back upon with affection and pride. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you've seen, smash the like button and be sure to click the notification bell so you won't miss any new content. If you enjoyed this video or found that it gave you a new way of looking at yourself, either personally or as an artist, please leave a comment in the comments section below. I learn a great deal from other people's perspectives, and I know that the comments you leave on this video will inspire me with new topics to discuss. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more content or to stay up to date. I look forward to you joining me the next time.